G'day there and welcome to Tim's Board Game Review episode 19. In this episode I'll be reviewing The Harvest, which is my second print and play game after Lemonade Stall. The Harvest is a 2-player card-based hand management game and typically takes about 30 minutes to play. In The Harvest, each player is in control of a vineyard and is trying to convert their crop or sell their crop for cash to increase their wealth, or they are trying to undertake research to increase their knowledge so that they can grow crops more efficiently. So let's see what you get when you print out the game file. Each player will have a hand of cards from the common card deck. Each player gets their own set of power cards. There's a central scoring track which is used to keep score of each player's knowledge and wealth. There's a scoring track for tracking the potential value of each person's grape crop. And there's a scoring track for the amount of research each player has undertaken. You can also print off playing pieces, but I prefer to just pinch them from another game. And you get a set of game rules. This is what the game will look like once you've got it set up, ready to play. To start the game, each player is dealt 3 cards from the common card deck, takes the Veto and Harvest power card, and also randomly selects 2 other power cards. Playing pieces are placed on the red spaces of the scoring tracks and on the first space of the crop value and research track, which should be set up next to the main scoring track. Each turn a player will typically play a card from their hand and then draw another card to return their hand back to their hand limit. The cards have 3 parts. The top part determines how far you move your piece along the crop value track. The middle section determines how far you move your piece along the research track. The bottom section is either blank or has text on it, which must be actioned if possible, and it will typically either help you or hinder your opponent. A number of cards have Harvest at the base of the card. When a Harvest card is played, it is the end of the round. The player who has played the Harvest card gains wealth based on the numbers shown at the top of the crop value track based on where their piece is. There is only one winery able to accept grapes from the Harvest, so only the player who is harvesting is able to sell them to gain wealth. Therefore, instead of picking their grapes, the other player is able to spend time converting their research into knowledge. They do this by moving their playing piece along the knowledge track based on the number at the top of the research track based on their current location of their counter. After a harvest, the pieces along the research and crop value tracks are returned to the first space of the track and a new round begins. Now, a player's hand limit is based on the number of the counter on the knowledge scoring track. So at the start of the game it is only 3 cards but can increase up to 6. During your turn you can discard up to 4 cards instead of playing any cards. You can only do this 3 times per harvest and you can't discard 2 times in a row. You are not allowed to play a card that will move your counter past the 10th spot of the research track. And you also can't play cards that will push your counter before the first space of the research or crop value tracks. If your crop value counter moves onto the 16th space of the crop value track, your grapes have basically gone past their prime and you're forced to harvest and sell them and only gain 1 wealth point, while your opponent still gets their knowledge bonus points as usual. Players will also have a hand of power cards. These are typically played at the start of your turn and can be played in addition to playing a card from your hand. Players need to choose the best time to play these cards to optimise the use of them. They do things such as allowing you to play 2 cards in a single turn, or allow you to manipulate the position of the pieces on the crop value or research tracks. A player wins the harvest if, after a harvest, they are able to get to the 12th spot on the wealth track with at least 4 points of knowledge, or by getting to the top of the knowledge track with at least 5 points of wealth. The game will normally take about 6 or so harvests until someone wins the game. If someone reaches the wealth track winning condition at the same turn their opponent reaches the knowledge track winning condition, the player who got to the top of the wealth track wins. So here are my somewhat biased ratings for this game. Now the components, I'd give them a 6 out of 10, but they're simple but functional. Luck I'd rate as medium, as sometimes the cards you want just don't turn up and the power cards are drawn randomly. I'd rate the fun factor medium. The game is very fast paced with an element, and there's also an element of pushing your luck and also messing around with your opponent's plans. The complexity would be low. There's simple rules that certainly don't take long to learn. The depth would be low to medium. The game is fairly quick and light to play. Replayability rate is medium. As a quick filler, you should be able to play this game quite regularly. Overall, I've got to give this game an 8 out of 10. It's a quick, fast-paced card game. So hopefully after seeing that review, you'll be interested in printing out the game files and playing the game yourself. Till next time, see you later.